Up next in the conference preview chart is the Big 12. Now, there is no conference championship game for the Big 12 since there's only 10 teams. However, there have been some teams that have been considering joining the Big 12 as a part of an expansion. But that could be another video for another day. Like, there could be some group of 5 teams that would be willing to join the Big 12, like maybe Houston. Because Houston has a matchup with Oklahoma scheduled for Week 1. Maybe Navy as well, because Navy has had some good teams the last couple of years. Maybe even, I don't know, let's just say maybe an FCS team can move to the Big 12, like Sam Houston State, which will probably never, ever happen. Or maybe they could pull Nebraska back into the Big 12. I'm not sure how much that would affect Nebraska in a good or bad manner, but it's something to think about now that the Big 12 is all about offense and lack of defense. So, let's get into these little previews for the teams. At number 10 at the bottom of the Big 12, we have the Kansas Jayhawks. For Kansas, basketball starts in November, something to look forward to for the Jayhawk fans. Moving on. Number 9, Iowa State. Same thing, basketball starts in November, something to look forward to, Iowa State fans. Moving on. Number 8, I have Kansas State in what probably could very well be the final season for head coach Bill Snyder. Now, Kansas State, they're not sure who's going to start quarterback. Maybe the guy named Jake. I'm not sure what his last name is. I listened to Stillwater Sports Cards the other day, and he was saying that Kansas State could be the dark horse in the Big 12, but I just don't see it yet. Number 7, I have Texas Tech. Texas Tech almost beat Oklahoma State last year. Texas Tech has a pretty strong offense. They have a strong quarterback returning in Patrick Mahomes. I would say Texas Tech could get a 6-6 record. Number 6, I have the Western New Mountaineers, which could be the turning point whether head coach Daniel Holgorsen stays or goes. He is definitely one of the coaches on the hot seat, as well as who we have at number 5 in the Texas Longhorns. Now, this is kind of a bold one because some people don't think Texas can be successful. But let's look back at what they did last year. They may have only had 4 wins last year, but one of those wins was Oklahoma, and one of those wins was Baylor. Because Texas spoiled Baylor's chances of making a New Year's Six, and they almost spoiled Oklahoma's shot at going to the college football playoff. Because who even knows if Oklahoma has that loss? If Michigan State didn't lose to Nebraska last season, you would have had undefeated Clemson, undefeated Michigan State, undefeated Iowa, and one-loss Alabama in the top 4. It's just something to think about. I wouldn't think about it too long because the season's getting closer and closer each day. Now, Charlie Strong is also on the hot seat, but I think he'll do enough this season to stay. I think Texas will make it to a bowl game this season. Maybe not one of the prettiest bowl games out there, but they'll make it to a bowl game. I would say at least 7-5 for Texas. But as the A&M fan that I am, I still have to go like this. At number 4, I have TCU. This is the first year without Trevone Boykin. Could be a rebuilding year as well for TCU. I think they'll still do decent. But all the receivers that made catches and that made the touchdowns in the bowl game in the second half, they were all freshmen. So maybe the young players could develop this year. Maybe in 2017 they can compete for the Big 12 championship. But I just don't see it this season. Number 3, we have Oklahoma State. Some people don't think Oklahoma State's as good as a team as they think they are. But I think they're a strong team. I think based on their play last year, they could build something this year. They could cook something up. Mike Gundy's, he's not a horrible coach. He's a great one. However, he's not 40. That little speech was maybe about 10 years ago. Maybe only 9 years ago. But Mike Gundy's still a wise head coach. Stillwater Sports Cards' favorite team's Oklahoma State. Number 2, we have the Oklahoma Sooners. Baker Mayfield's returning, but you're losing Sterling Shepard. You're losing some big key defensive players. But you still have Sherman Piran at running back. But winning the Big 12, I have the Baylor Bears. Now, they may have lost Corey Coleman, but they still have K.D. Cannon. They have a really strong running game. Probably the best running backs in the Big 12, maybe even in college football. They still have great quarterbacks in Seth Russell and Jarrett Stidham. I think Baylor will win the Big 12. Maybe they could get into the college football playoff. Kind of depends on what happens. So there's your preview on the Big 12. That's going to do it. Like and subscribe to the channel. Also follow my sports account at JB Talk Sports. Email for future video suggestions, birdtechjohnny@gmail.com. See you next time. Have a great day, everyone.